Hello, this is Shar from the Real Kitchen for Real People. I decided to come to you today with one of my favorites. I hope everybody is staying safe and out in this changing world. And that's my prayer, that everybody stays safe and healthy. Okay, today I decided to make one of my mom's favorites, which was a pound cake. She always wanted something sweet for Sunday, and it usually was a pound cake because it was quick and you didn't have to spend much time in the kitchen. So in this bowl I have mixed, so this is like a short video, so I'm not putting out every little ingredient because I know you know what I'm talking about. And so I'm just going to show you what I've already combined in this bowl. I've combined 2 sticks of butter and 2.5 cups of sugar. So I've blended that together. Next, I'm going to add 6 eggs. Now I'm going to add these eggs one at a time. So when I'm mixing, I'll come back at the end of the 6th egg. 6 large eggs will go into this mixture one at a time. That ensures that you mix that egg up in there really good, because you do not want to taste egg in your cake. So I'm going to put those 6 in, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is how it will look. It's real soft and fluffy. That's after blending your eggs. And you might want to blend your eggs like 2 minutes after each one. That was recommended by my mom when she was baking. She would always say, I got to really beat that egg up in there good. So that's what I did. 2 minutes after each egg, 6 eggs. And usually that last egg that I add, I probably beat it about 3 minutes, that last one. Just make sure that your egg mixture is mixed in with your butter very thorough. Okay, now what I do is set this aside, and I'm going to mix my dry ingredients. Okay, in this another bowl, I've mixed my dry ingredients. In this bowl, I have 3 cups of all-purpose flour. 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And I got 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of regular salt. And I'm going to blend this all together. Now what I'm going to do now is sift it. I want to sift this, and so I'll sift it into another bowl. Or you can sift it as you add it to your butter mixture. But I want to sift mine prior to that. So you mix 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour in a separate bowl from your butter mixture. And 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt. So that's what's in this dry ingredient, and I'm going to sift it. Okay, what I did was put my flour in there a little at a time in my sifter. I just used this and sift my flour into another bowl until it's completely sifted. And this reason why you do this is to make it makes your cakes a little bit more fluffier and light when you sift your flour, unless you are using cake flour. Now if you're using cake flour, you can just use it, 3.5 cups of cake flour. But if you're using all-purpose flour, which is what I have, I want to sift it to make it light, so my cake will come out light and fluffy. Okay, I'm going to continue to to mix my ingredients here, the dry with the butter. But in the meantime, turn your oven on 325. Bake 325. So that your oven will be ready for your pound cake. Now I'm going to add alternately with a can of condensed milk. Just a can of condensed milk, and I'm going to add just a little bit at a time with my flour. Adding a little flour at a time and blend. You probably want to do this in 4 different parts. This is my first part, and then I'll add a little bit more, but do it about 4 times to make sure that you're blending this really well. So once you add your milk in there, your condensed milk, or evaporated milk, but my mom always used the evaporated milk, Eagle brand evaporated milk. But it's whatever you want to, milk you want to use. If you want to use buttermilk, some people use buttermilk. Some people use carnation milk. But she used condensed Eagle brand milk. So add just a little bit at a time in 4 increments and blend after each one very well. Okay, after you've added your last flour mixture to your batter, your butter batter, and mix it good. And the reason why you break it up in there, because you want to have flour all over your floor and all over your appliances and stuff, because if you put that in there all at once, it just makes it difficult to mix. So you want to break it down, and I always break it down into 4s, because I was taught by one of the best cooks there are, and that was my mom. She was one of the best cooks I ever known. So I'm just doing it like she taught me. And you add it in 4s. That way you won't have flour all over the place. Okay, on your last mixture batter, you want to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And sometimes she would add vanilla. Sometimes she would add the different flavors of extract. Sometimes she would have lemon or almond or banana, whatever she had at home. They didn't go out and go buying stuff. This is just a mixture, simple pound cake of ingredients that she had at home. And that's the way those old cooks, they didn't go to the store every time they wanted to make something. They were very creative with the ingredients they had available on hand. So on hand, I have vanilla extract. So that's what I'm going to add to this butter batter. And it will be 2 teaspoons. And I'm going to mix that up really well. And the reason why I'm doing this video like this is because my blender is a bit loud. So you wouldn't be able to hear nothing but the blender going. So I'm just telling you as I go what I'm doing. And if you have to pause it, you can pause it on the instructions. And I'll put also the ingredients below, so that you will have all your ingredients beforehand. Okay, I'm going to mix this up. As you mix, also be sure to scrape your sides of your bowl. Get that mixture that's on the side. We don't want to leave it behind. Okay, now I am greasing my pan, my bundt pan, and this is so important that you get. Now what I use is just shortening and I grease it. I don't use spray for the pound cake pan because I have a nightmare trying to get it out for some reason. So this right here, when Mom was making it, was my dad's job, is to oil this pound cake pan good so it won't stick. And when it has all these grooves, this is an old pan, so it has all these grooves in it. So you got to really make sure that you get it in there good, that your oil. I just use that butter flavor shortening to put in there. You could use regular shortening or whatever. But we're going to see and hope and pray that this comes out, because sometimes this little pan with all these grooves in it gives me the blues sometimes. So we'll see. And then after this, you just flour it, and I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to flour this pan, and I'll take a little flour. I don't know if you can see that or not. About a half a cup of flour, and then I'll just shake it around to make sure your whole pan is covered in flour. Okay. Okay, here's my floured pan. Some little, the little part at the top right there is kind of hard to get, but this is the best I can do with this old pan. So we'll see how it comes out. And what you do is now you just spoon your batter in. So that's what I'm gonna do. Try to put it in there as even as you can. And this is always a favorite when I was growing up. It's because it's so simple, and you can have it with any kind of fruit or ice cream. She used to make that homemade ice cream with it, and it was just a knockout. You be on the sugar high, that's for sure, because this is kind of sweet, so you don't really need any kind of icing on it, because it's enough sweetening in here. And then you have to eat it according to your health plan. So this is not just for people who have is diabetic and all of that. So based on your health, you prepare it and substitute ingredients to fit your health needs. But this is just my recipe from my mom that I'm sharing. So, and I can't wait to put my lips around a slice of this cake. I just hope it come out of this pan good. But we'll see. So you bake this on 325 for an hour and a half. And then you take a toothpick or a knife and stick it down in there to see, make sure it comes up clean, enough cake on it, and then that means it's done. But everybody's oven cooks different, so I'm gonna cook mine at 325 for an hour and a half. And let's keep our fingers crossed that this come out of this pan. Okay? Your pan may not be this old, but and it won't have no problems, but we'll see. I'll be back. In the meantime, I'm cleaning up, because you know I don't like all this stuff around. So I'm cleaning up, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to let this bake for an hour and a half on 325. Okay, here's my cake. I took it out of the oven after an hour and a half, and I let it cool for an hour before I removed it from the pan. And I had my brother came over and his wife, so it's already been sliced and it is delicious. Here's a slice that I'm getting ready to pass over here to my taster. So remember to try it out. Let me know how you like this Jules pound cake, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me a comment of what you think of it, if you like it or how you did yours, or did you put icing on it or whatever. But right now we're going to let the taster taste this slice.